Back here on SportsLine, looking at some of the Titans' position battles, and we talked about the cornerback situation. You heard Jonathan Hutton in the last segment say he thinks it's Caleb Farley. I'm not as sure at the number 2 spot because Roger McCreary has really impressed here in the preseason, and I think Farley is still have some of those growing pains based off of the injury last year, and frankly, just the lack of playing football. He didn't play his final year at Virginia Tech because of COVID. He had an injury there as well. He comes into Tennessee off of back surgery. He works his way into the lineup last year. Then he immediately tears his ACL. He rehabs back from that. It's just been a long time since he's consistently been on the field to play football. We got a chance to catch up with him after the game on Saturday night. There were some moments, one in particular, where Scotty Miller beat him deep. It would have been a 40-yard completion had Miller been able to hold on to a diving catch. And there were some other moments where he was right there and he really showed the skill set that he has that has people so high on the potential of what Caleb Farley can be. We got a chance to catch up with him after the game, talking about his second game back from injury and getting more and more used to the NFL.
Yeah, I feel like we've made improvement. Like I said, I feel like we had a lot of fun tonight, being able to fly around, make plays, and just celebrate with our teammates and love on each other. And
for you, back out there again, how did you feel second preseason game?
Every second I'm out there, I'm getting more comfortable. I'm getting better, and I just got to keep improving. But I like the direction I'm headed. You know, I feel good. I'm confident going into the season, and I just got to keep it going.
Caleb, how important is it for you to get the extended reps that you got on a night like tonight to get back just feeling like you can play a full game?
I think it's huge because, you know, it doesn't matter how many drills I do or, you know what I'm saying, just practice stuff like drills and catching the ball. Like, I got to get out there and implement what we do in practice, you know, in a real game setting. And a lot of that is mental, you know, just being comfortable. And, you know, I can feel myself getting comfortable, having fun, and I like where I'm headed.
Vrabel said something the other day about you may have been too hyped, whether that's mentally or physically going on the first joint practice. Do you feel a little bit of that now? I mean, you want to prove so much to get out there and be mentally sharp and physically sharp for an entire game. You almost have to prove that to yourself, I think.
I feel like Coach Ray just knows who I am and knows where I'm at mentally and emotionally, and just tries to help me, give me good advice. He's been a player, a great player. You know, he's been there, and I think he's just giving me advice of being able to control emotions and handle, you know, everything you may feel going into these games, into these seasons with, you know, just the expectations to perform. So that's just him letting me know, be comfortable, like play a game and play fast, and we'll coach everything up.
Thanks, Caleb.
The one thing you have to say about Farley is you have to admire his work ethic and his attitude about all this. To come in the way he did and have the injury he did last year, it would be easy to sort of pout and expect things when you come back. He's worked, by all accounts, incredibly hard in the offseason to get healthy and to understand what he missed last year and to get a good understanding of this defense and what he needs to do to get on the field and be a contributor. I think that's really, really important for Caleb Farley. Now, another guy that you can look at on the defense that's kind of in a similar boat is Rashad Weaver. He also got hurt last year, broken leg, but he's come back and he's worked really well in preseason. He was an absolute beast on Saturday night in his first game back on the field where he broke his leg last year. He recovered a fumble. He got a sack, couple of quarterback hurries. Very, very impressive night for Rashad Weaver, and he wasn't the only guy that contributed to a pass rush that didn't have a Jeffrey Simmons, didn't have Harold Landry, didn't have Bud Dupree going the other night. The other guy that's been impressive in the preseason, I don't know if it's going to be good enough for him to make a roster spot, but he's going to get a look somewhere based off of the production he's had, and that's David Anina out of Houston. Came in and had 2 sacks in the opener against Baltimore, got to the quarterback again and forced a fumble the other night. And I got a chance to catch up with the undrafted rookie out of Houston, David Anina, after the game. You know, people are fighting for jobs out there every day. How important are games like last Thursday, like tonight, like next week, to prove that you belong here?
They're very important. I mean, that's what these preseason games are for. They're for people who are, you know, pretty much in my position, who got to go out there and they got to prove themselves. And I feel like these past 2 weeks, these past 2 games, that thankfully to God, I've been able to go do that. So,
how much more solidified do you feel in your role here and what you can do after 3.5 weeks of this?
I mean, I'm not sure on that. I mean, that's the coach's decision and everything. But my job is to just go out there, play, do what I can do, come out to practice every day, put in the work every day, and then just keep improving. And then that'll be up to Coach Vrabel and the coaching staff.
How important is the week to come?
Very important. Very important. Last preseason game, got to go out with a bang. Very important.
His effort is going to make that decision more difficult for John Robinson, Mike Vrabel, and the Titans coaching and player personnel staff because he continues to perform when he gets his opportunities. Will he get more? Will he ultimately make the team? We'll see. But he is performing when he's on the field right now. Biggest revelation from Saturday night, by the way, that came on special teams. Kyle Phillips is going to be the punt returner of this team, and he provides a level of excitement in that department that the Titans haven't had in some time. Now, he's going to want to avoid fielding punts at his own goal line like he did on the first one Saturday night, but even that one he returned back past the 25-yard line, so he made up for it. And then he had a 37-yard return later, 15-yard return later, 77 yards of returns on 3 chances in the punt game the other night. That's as good as I can remember from a Titans returner in a long time. Yes, it's a preseason game. He's not Mark Mariani and going to the Pro Bowl just yet. But there's reasons to be excited because he takes pride in it. And he's a solid receiver that now can give you a real punch in the special teams game as well. And here was our conversation with Kyle Phillips afterwards. You go out there, you feel that first punt 1 yard deep into the end zone. Was that how you drew it up?
Nah, definitely not how we drew it up, but I got back there and took a peek and saw there was a couple lanes, and, all my teammates were doing a great job making some big blocks, so I figured I could take it out, make a play.
Did you seriously knew where you were when you caught it?
I knew I was pretty deep. Didn't know I was on the 1 yard line to a step in the end zone that deep, but yeah.
You said the other day that you have to be a little crazy to be a punt returner.
Yeah, for sure.
Is part of that even in bad position you have to feel like you can make a play?
Yeah, for sure. And they teach it here. We want to be aggressive, and so decided I want to be aggressive, but not done with it. So, like I said, took the peek, saw we had some blocks, saw there was some lanes, so I caught it and took it.
I don't know how much history you know about the Titans, but there are several people who compared you to Mark Mariani, who was a Pro Bowl punt returner here tonight, based off of what they saw. A lot of people think this was about as exciting as the return game's been in a while. How much pride do you take in being a returner in that sense?
I think it's just more of a proud as a unit. I think I get a lot of the credit being the returner, but I feel like while my job is scary, I have the easy job. I catch and make one man miss, while my teammates are in tough positions, making the big blocks that matter and that actually make the return work. So it's a lot of the credit goes to me, but it should be on my teammates making those blocks.
You also had the first third down conversion of the night, believe it or not, there in the second quarter. How much has your confidence grown as you've worked up more with the ones, played more at the wide receivers position?
Oh yeah, a whole lot. Just repeated success. You're able to build a whole lot of confidence. So just stacking that rep on top of everything else has been able to build my confidence up a little bit more.
And lastly, what you got to do this week?
I got to work on a whole lot. I had one false start, which I'm really disappointed in, and just my blocking in the run game. I feel like I could have had a couple runs hit maybe a little bit bigger if I made my block, and so I let a couple slips. That's something I definitely want to work on this week.
Phillips is a guy we've seen a lot from in practice, especially in the return game. Fans finally got a chance to see it on Saturday night, and he continues to work his way up in the rotation offensively as well. He had that third down catch in the first half Saturday from Malik Willis, but he's been out there a lot. 2-minute drill, first team stuff. And there's definitely a level of trust there from Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, even Logan Woodside, looking in the direction of Kyle Phillips. He knows where he's running. He runs great routes. He's got good hands, and he seemingly finds a way to get open, and that has built a big-time level of trust amongst those QBs. Another guy who seems to be a friendly target for the quarterbacks is Chiga Konkwo, another rookie, fourth-round pick out of Maryland. He's known as a pass catcher. The Titans have worked on him to be a blocker. I think he's going to be fine in that regard. I think he's going to be a really good player for the Titans. But right now, you absolutely see his ability to catch the football. Every day, it seems like in practice, when they're doing red zone stuff, he comes up with the touchdown grab at some point. He just finds a way to get open and he makes a play. And on Saturday, you saw that happen there as well. He was able to get open eventually. There was good time, and Malik Willis fired the touchdown. Rookie to rookie. It was the only touchdown of the night. And afterwards, with the ball in his hand, Chiga Konkwo spoke to us in the media.
What did you see on the touchdown play?
I actually got rerouted terribly. I got knocked off my route really bad. But I just kept on playing through contact, ran to the other side. I saw the linebacker sitting, so I ran on the other side of him. It looks like, the play is planned to do. And then Malik hit me, and that's all it went.
You and Malik fighting over that ball?
No, we didn't fight over this ball. I actually didn't know it was going to be here. It was in my locker, so that was pretty cool.
Where does it go now?
I don't know. Probably send it back home to my family. Let them have it.
What did that moment mean? I asked you before the Baltimore game last week. You said you might take a moment to think about being here. Did you take a moment after being in the end zone for the first time?
Man, even now, still, it was weird. It still didn't feel, maybe because it's preseason, it still didn't feel all the way there. So I'm just waiting until September 11th, when all the juice is out, everybody's out, and then I feel like that'll be the time where everything will hit me.
How much did getting out there in these two games mean for your confidence and just belief of not just doing it in practice, but now doing it in the game?
Yeah, totally. just getting out there and finally actually getting, live action, live snaps, and being able to play and then just realizing, man, this is the NFL, but, I'm able to play here. Like, I'm able to do these things. I'm able to go against these guys. I'm able to work against these guys, enjoying practices, you're going against guys that you grew up watching all the time, and just going out there and just realizing, football's football. It just really helps your confidence and knowing that, the game is a game. You just got to go out there and play.
You're not in a position where you're necessarily fighting for a roster spot like some of these guys are, but you got a week left really in the preseason.
Yeah.
How important is it to double down your efforts to really lock in and get going?
Yeah, man. Just trying to, like as Coach Vrabel says, just trying to keep trying to define my role. So this week, this is going to be the same as that, taking it day by day and just making sure I do everything that I can, to make sure that they know what I can do, what my skill set is, and help me get on the field more.
There seems to be kind of a joy that he plays with, which is cool to see. You don't always see that from those guys up front or tight ends. But Chiga Konkwo has a definite skill set that the Titans are going to try to take advantage of this season, just like they did with that touchdown pass on Saturday night. Titans would love for Dillon Radunz to be a part of their offensive line. He was certainly given the first crack at right tackle. To me, it looks like Nicholas Petit-Frere is the lean at that position right now, but we'll see. Radunz got a ton of work there on Saturday night despite Petit-Frere getting the start. Maybe he gets some more chances there this Saturday against the Cardinals. We'll see what happens tomorrow in the joint practices. But right now I've got a Petit-Frere and then Radunz. But here was my conversation with last year's second-round pick, Dillon Radunz, after the game Saturday night as he continues to try to battle for a starting spot at right tackle and a position on this offensive line.
How do you evaluate what you did tonight?
What I did, I'd say just obviously got to learn from the mistakes. I wasn't perfect out there for sure. But I think what I took away from tonight is huge confidence boost. Just me being able to get in my set, get in my feet, get my punch in this pass pro and stuff and just gain confidence that way. And I think that was my big takeaway for tonight.
Do you feel a significant amount of pressure in these games right now? Obviously, what's at stake.
Yeah, it's human nature. You're going to feel that pressure. Obviously, you do everything you can to mentally prepare yourself to not, cave into that pressure. But, there's all those sayings, pressure makes diamonds, stuff like that. You just have to be able to mentally deal with it and learn how to perform through it. So.
With whenever a mistake comes, false start tonight or whatever it is, how do you have to wipe that clean and go back to the next play?
Exactly what you said. Wipe it clean, forget about it. Especially in the moment, you can go and analyze it on film and see what happens and fix it later. But in the moment, you have to forget about it because ultimately you're moving on to the next play and you're in a live game. You just forget about it in the moment. So.
Do you feel like you're making steady progress day in and day out and being better than you were 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and all that?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely do. Obviously, there's lulls. I haven't been perfect quick through camp, and I'm obviously trying to get to a certain spot and be that starter. But yeah, I think I've steadily made that progress. So
1 week left here in training camp, preseason, whatever it is. You got the joint practices and a game. How important is this time?
Obviously super important. Just everybody's trying to solidify their role on this team, and just use this week to actually solidify that role and prove that